Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we head to Hull and a service whose clients have complicated needs. We head to Hull again and learn more about the City of Culture partnerships. And as it's approaching Halloween, we ask the question whether eggs should be sold to the under-16s. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Hugh Riches. As we heard in the news, a Hull charity has criticised local services for not offering enough support for the vulnerable and homeless. Doorstep, which accommodates the homeless in its 260 bed spaces in the city, says many of the individuals' problems have become more complicated over the years. With Hull City Council probably facing more cuts due to reductions in central government funding, further strains will be placed on the services. We went to visit the charity, and Pete Drinkle, project manager, begins by telling us what the service was like when he began working there.
I mean, when I first started, it was generally somebody would ring up and say that they'd had a fight with a stepfather, that perhaps the mother had moved into the property, and they would come, we would help them out with accommodation and give them support towards moving on into independence. And gradually over the years, getting more and more complex problems now with drug abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health issues, becoming really complicated. The issue for us really is that we feel that we're doing it in isolation most of the time, and that the organisations like social services, mental health services and the police, we don't really feel we get the support that we should get in dealing with those issues. Now, whether that's because of lack of resources from their point of view or a lack of understanding that these are the issues that are out there that we're dealing with, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is we really do feel on our own sometimes.
I feel local councils, I think at the moment they don't provide ongoing support for some of their most vulnerable tenants. And people who are homeless or people with mental health issues, they're just expected to get a council tenancy and crack on with it and pay the rent. And that's it. And I don't think there's any support really.
We have a situation where if somebody's under 25 and we try and move them on into their own accommodation, they're trying to live on £57 a week. I mean, that's absolutely impossible. The first thing that they will do is they have to pay 20% towards the council tax. Out of what's left, they've got to furnish the place, energy costs, water rates, feed themselves, clothe themselves. Impossible.
At the moment, I feel it's down to us to get them into a place, put a grant in for them, get their water, gas and electric all sorted for them, and provide 3 months ongoing support. And that's what the council expect from us. And I feel councils don't meet us halfway or don't work with us enough to make sure that tenancies are successful.
As the Hull City of Culture looms ever closer, a number of partnerships were announced to show how many people are supporting the team and what a large number of organisations are involved. We sent Dave Nunn to the Hull Truck Theatre to find out exactly what it means for the city and beyond.
With just over a year to go, the pieces are falling in place for Hull's year in the limelight as City of Culture 2017. At an update on the team's progress last week, one thing that was unveiled was the brand for 2017, which was created in consultation with local people.
We went through a process at the start of our brand development a few months ago by going and talking to lots of different groups, not to say what colour do you think it should be, not to say what font do you think it should be in, but actually to go, what does this year mean to you? What do we need to do to engage your neighbour, your friend, your relative who doesn't know what City of Culture is yet, doesn't know. They may have heard about it, but doesn't know what relevance it'll have to them. And this process of engagement really opened our eyes to, if you try to distill Hull down into one single thing, once you've ruled out Chip Spice and the Humber Bridge, you really can't. And therefore, you're a fool if you go on a branding process trying to do just that.
Chief Executive of Hull City of Culture Martin Green says he wants to export the Hull brand across the UK and beyond. So will this brand help to do that? City of Culture Chair Rosie Billard seems to think so.
I think it's terrific. I think it achieves everything we wanted to do and more. I mean, it's memorable, it's charming, It's easy to read quickly. It's very user-friendly. You can use it on a badge, on a bag, on a T-shirt, and it comes in a range of colours. And also, importantly, there's a version of it used for the community, which I really hope will be taken up and used with great enthusiasm across Hull.
One thing that became clear during the event was the amount of backing Hull will be getting from big national and international organisations, such as BP and the British Arts Council. Rosie says these partnerships are key in turning Hull 2017 into what she calls a juggernaut.
It's very important to have big names, big national brands such as BP and the BBC. We've also got Yorkshire Water. We've also got Hull City Council. I mean, it is very important to have big players behind us, because I can tell you that the Hull City of Culture 2017 is a juggernaut which is going to roll into the city and change people's lives. And we need lots of money to do that, and we need media backing, and we need these big names to help us.
For BP, which has an operation in Hull, it's about using its big name status to help bring arts and culture from further afield into Hull, and to get its local workforce involved.
Well, we have supported arts and culture for over 40 years here. We partner with 4 major institutions in London, and we're hoping to bring some of those partnerships up to Hull to partner with them to create a very creative programme for 2017. We'll be very engaged with the programme. We'll help to find different ways to bring positive impact to the programme. So our Hull team, our employees, some 500 of them hopefully, will engage with the programme.
It seems as if the pieces of Hull City of Culture projects are falling into place, and the next year will be a big test of the new brand and partnerships to see whether they can export Hull across the world.
You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, it's Halloween tomorrow, and we ask you whether the under-16s should be sold eggs. And we go to Brig to see what's happening at the train station. And we'll have all the sports news. The Humberside Police and Crime Commissioner's Office recently put £10,000 of funding in a pot to help youngsters in the region. A Dragon's Den style event was organised by Catch 22 for local groups to pitch for the money. We sent a camera along to capture the day, and Ellie Tuffin, service manager for Catch 22, starts by telling us what the event is about.
We are celebrating the work that we do on positive lifestyles, which is funded by the Office of Police and Crime Commissioners, and we're hosting a Dragon's Den event. So we've got £10,000 worth of funding, which is coming from the Crime Commissioner, to invest into local organisations that are supporting young people in their area, whether it's a sports community club or it could be an outreach youth service. So we're looking at organisations that can come and deliver the support work that we do in the community.
We're here to listen to young people. We're here to listen to young people's ideas as to how they think they can improve their lives, and we're going to listen to some of their great ideas for projects in their areas.
We're going to pitch for some money to do an anti-bullying project to try and get children, students, anybody to come along and take part in an anti-bullying campaign, to have a go at doing set design, choreography, acting skills, and then eventually hopefully to put on a performance of what they've been working on throughout the weeks.
I'm here to pitch for some money to run a Twilight football session for 10 to 16 year olds where they can all come together, meet new friends, get involved, stay active, and ultimately they're doing something that they're enjoying rather than being on a park bored destroying things or getting up to mischief.
We are part and parcel of Positive Lifestyles, which obviously is funded across the Humberside Police region by the PCC's office, Police and Crime Commissioner's office, and it's about targeting and working with young people that sometimes are in hard to reach areas across the Humberside Police region. So we're part of that, the communities team get involved, so it's bridging that gap, engaging with those young people and making positive differences for their lifestyle.
I've been invited to host the event, so it's fantastic for me. I get to travel all over the country and do youth work literally nationwide. I've worked in the local schools before, and to get to come back and host the Dragon's Den event is a real honour and a privilege. The organisations that are coming together are working in partnership to work on some really tough and challenging youth issues that maybe education hasn't been able to solve. There are certain things that don't get taken care of in school, and that perhaps other organisations need to help with. And so it's fantastic to see so many people come together.
We tend to find that a lot of good ideas that young people come up with can be lost, and us as adults are not, we don't have the monopoly on good ideas. And today is a great opportunity to listen to those good ideas coming up from the bottom, coming up from those young people. And that's why I'm excited about today, and that's why I'm really fired up by this. I'm fired up by young people coming forward with their ideas, their drive, their enthusiasm. And guess what? It's contagious. And I'm looking forward to being uplifted by some of these young people today.
I think something like this is key because actually what we're doing is we've invited a lot of organisations that are working with young people across the Humber, and we're inviting them to come and take part and get to know about positive lifestyles a bit more and come and work with us. We know that across the Humber region we have so many great organisations that are working with young people, and what we don't want to do is just duplicate another programme. We're wanting to connect those programmes to work together to better support really good outcomes for young people.
Join me again after the break. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. A little later on we head to Pickering Park in Hull to see why they need more volunteers, and we go to Brig to find out what's happening with their railway station. Many shops refuse to sell such things as flour and eggs to youngsters in the run-up to Halloween. Of course, they're used by pranksters, they're thrown, but not everyone is delighted at the mess left behind. We went out on the streets of Grimsby to discover your opinion on whether shops should sell eggs to the under-16s.
No, because I don't think many teenagers throw eggs at windows anymore. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah, probably should, yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, why? Why do you think it should stop?
Well, they just make a mess of your house, don't they? Throw them at your windows. And
it's trouble causers mainly, aren't they, really? I mean, I know I were when I was under 16 anyway.
Because they're just like chucking them everywhere and causing damage to places, and they are actually horrible when they throw them at your houses.
Probably because of immaturity.
So do you think it would help by not selling them to them?
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't object to them doing it to solve that problem. No.
No?
Okay.
Yeah, especially around Halloween.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm sick of them on my glass.
Could do, might stop it, but we like try it. If it doesn't work, then just sell them again.
Well, in some senses, yeah, but it depends what for. If they know it's like near Halloween, then yeah, maybe. But if it's not, then don't see the problem with it.
Pickering Park in Hull first opened its gates in 1911. It was founded by Christopher Pickering, a Hull merchant. Now the Friends group, of whom there are only 3, need more help and more volunteers. We went to the park to talk to them.
The park is maintained by park rangers. Due to cutbacks over successive years, there are no gardeners attached to the park. When we received the grant for this area, which we thought was a wonderful idea, we also undertook the maintenance of it. Fresh volunteers, which is what we're seeking now, could bring us some new ideas. We've been doing this now for 8 years. We all love the park. It could be that someone who has recently moved into the area could have an idea that we've not even considered, we've not even thought about.
Because the average age of the group of volunteers that we've got now is about of a pensionable age. There are younger people, but there are a lot of older people as well. And we need to make sure that the next generation continues anything that's started now, take an interest in the park for their children. And without those people following on, what does the future hold? That's a question you can't answer. And we are asking people to come and spend days and days doing physical work. A little bit of time, and a couple of hours now and again. That's all it takes.
Oh, we'd love more volunteers. The most that we've got working in the garden there are 3 regulars of us and then 2 others that come when they can. None of us are getting any younger. We're all quite older. We'd like some new blood, some fresh blood. with fresh ideas. You know, we could be coming a bit stale, and it would be lovely to have more enthusiasm, people, you know, who can give us new ideas. They don't have to dig for 3 hours at a time. Even just someone to sweep the paths would be lovely.
And we have, at the same time, several of us have quirky senses of humour, so we do have a good laugh and an exchange and a cup of coffee and have a fun time as well. It's not all work and no play.
And if you can help the group, they'd be very appreciative. For towns like Brigg, a train station is crucial to the town's tourism industry and, in turn, the whole local economy. The station has been the frequent target of fly tippers and vandals, and the Friends of Brigg and District Railway say a solution is still yet to be found, as Dave Nunn went to find out.
It looks like any other small town train station, but Brigg Station has been at the centre of controversy following multiple visits by the Friends of Brigg and Lincoln rail line.
We're talking about, unfortunately, the serious issue of the station area at Brigg. We have for the last 2 years had an ongoing problem with fly tipping and trespassing, which unfortunately means that obviously when we're getting people to use the train services to come to Brigg, the first thing they see as they come into the town is this mess all the time.
The fly tipping problem has been getting so bad it's been going on for over a year, and there have been objects such as prams found on the tracks, which is obviously creating a danger to travellers.
We've got a situation where we've actually got now over 1.5 years of evidence of fly tipping actually on the site. A couple of weeks ago we had an incident where a large buggy and a group of tyres were actually thrown onto the live railway line, and they actually had to close the line and clear the track. That is incredibly dangerous. Of course, there's a cost to the public because obviously the tracks have to be closed and they've had to remove it. And again, as we said, we're taking the time as an effort, obviously as a rail user group, to bring people into this town. This is not what they want to see.
The problem has arisen due to confusion over whose responsibility it is to clean the line. Northern Rail operate the station, but the Friends of Brigg and Lincoln line say that North Lincolnshire Council is responsible for the cleaning of the station.
Well, the station area used to belong to the railway, and it went over to North Lincolnshire Council sometime in the mid-1990s. The station area actually can't be redeveloped for housing, but it can be done for commercial use. The problem we've got is obviously it seems to be an area that's out of sight, out of mind. We've actually looked at obviously putting CCTV actually on the station, but Northern Rail, the train operating company, have turned around and rightly said that it's actually the responsibility of the council to look after their area and the tenants that's on that area and to clean up after them.
Neither the council or Northern Rail have commented on the situation, but Paul says the station is giving visitors a bad first impression of the town.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, I'm old school. It's first impressions count, and that's the feedback we do get from customers. They have a great time coming to Brigg, the independent shops, things like that, but the station area really does let the town down.
Joining me now for a look back over the news headlines, Erica Barker. Erica.
Hello, Hugh. I'm going to start off then. Shoreline Housing, based in North East Lincolnshire, has confirmed that up to 43 jobs, that's almost a fifth of its workforce, could be lost after a government rent reduction left it needing to plug £3.5 million a year. So this is within the Grimsby Telegraph. Now, the Housing Social Partnership has begun a formal consultation with staff and customers on redundancies. So the government has made a decision that, social housing rents are to be cut by 1% per year on year, for 4 years from 2016, and they say that this is going to have a massive impact.
It's good news for the tenants, though, I guess, if they're paying a little bit less.
Well, I suppose it's a standard of the properties, isn't it, to ensure that the properties are of an adequate standard. But we'll see what happens there with that one. Not good news for the people, obviously facing the jobs cuts. I'm going to go on then to another cut. This is within Humberside Police. They're going to lose 12 officers and 12 dogs. Now, this is because the unit is to merge with neighbouring South Yorkshire Police. So they're going to have losses there. So these are drugs that help detect a range of drugs. Very important, but maybe not particularly great news for those people facing redundancies also.
Enormously clever animals, though, aren't they?
Very clever, extremely clever.
Fantastic creatures.
So finally, 2 wallabies are on the run in the East Riding after escaping from. These 2 wallabies live in Cherry Burton. I never knew people had wallabies as like pets.
Right.
Maybe they're more than pets.
They're mini kangaroos, aren't they? Anyway, they're
Mini
on the run,
kangaroos. Yes, they are. So they went missing. I'm laughing, but it's very serious, isn't it? They went missing in Cherry Burton at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning. They were spotted in Woodall Way, Beverley, yesterday evening, but have not been seen again since. So obviously the owners are very concerned, as are the police. I want to find them as soon as possible.
Thanks very much, Erica. I believe you have some sports news.
I do. OK, so Hull City's manager Steve Bruce has told the club's official website he's preparing for a selection headache when it comes to picking his team for Saturday's Sky Bet Championship fixture at MK Dons, telling them the biggest weapon he has is the squad, and if they're going to be successful they have to have players who are willing to fight for each other to pull the club around. The date for the Tigers' Capital One Cup quarter-final tie with Manchester City has been confirmed. It'll be played on Tuesday, the 1st of December. Grimsby Town are back in National League action tonight when they welcome Cheltenham Town to Blundell Park. This will be the second meeting between the two sides since 2006 League Two playoff final, which the Robins won 1-0 at the Millennium Stadium. And Paul Hurst's side will go into it looking to extend a run that has seen the side go unbeaten since August. Kick-off is at 7:45. Scunthorpe United host Barnsley at Glanford Park on Saturday and will be looking to continue to climb the League One table. Mark Robbins' side have won 4 of their last 5 matches, climbing into the top half of the table as a result. And North Ferriby United face a tough test against third-placed Nuneaton Town on Saturday. This will be Ferriby's first visit to Nuneaton. The sides met 3 weeks ago at the Eon Visual Media Stadium in the FA Cup. The game saw the Villagers win 1-0. And Ferriby's FA Youth Cup side play Morecambe on Tuesday. The match will be a big test for the young Villagers. And they're facing Morecambe's young professionals. And that's all from the sport.
Thank you, Erica. That's all we have for today, I'm afraid. Until next week, good evening. But if you do have any stories for us, then please get in touch, estuary.tv or phone 01472 31 55553. Usual social media pages as well. Have a good weekend.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Most places will be dry, although generally cloudy, especially on Pennines with mist. Some bright spells are possible in eastern areas, and a brisk southerly wind will ease later, feeling mild with a maximum temperature of 16 degrees. Sunday will be largely dry with some light winds.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.